And I'd like to say Happy New Year to everyone and welcome once again to the Buffalo History Channel. We're going to start off, we started off the year 2021 in the biggest way I know how. I know that a lot of you tuned into the video that I posted, looking back at the work of Chucky T on the Legends of WBLK segment. That thing hit almost over 200 views in less than a week. I'd like to thank everybody that checked out that video. Also, I'd like to send a shout out to all of our new subscribers that signed up to the YouTube channel. Now, I am very happy to have our very first official interview of the year 2021. And this is on talking to two gentlemen who are working on a very unique project that is very unique, extremely unique to Buffalo's history. We're going to talk about Buffalo's hip hop history, and especially Buffalo's early hip hop history, which really piqued my interest because there's a lot of it I remember. I'd like to welcome Timothy Clyburn and Aaron Bartley to the Buffalo History Channel.
How you doing?
All right.
All right.
Great to be here, Doug.
All right. So let's start from the beginning. Tim, I saw your video posted on Facebook maybe a month or so ago where you talked about what your intentions were. Talk to us about what inspired you to embark on this project.
Well, the love of hip hop, but not just the love of hip hop, but the local hip hop growing up in its inception here from like 1982 to what I see here today. But what inspired the book was a couple friends just kicking around the idea years ago. And Aaron, you know, the work he did at Push, and we would have like these little, we would meet, you know, as far as like at events, or we just meet there and we just talk about hip hop and things like that, and what he knew from his time. And I would talk about things that I knew from my time and start bringing up stories and things like that. And a couple of years ago, yo, you ever think about putting a book together, doing something? I said, yeah, I've heard that before. And over the years, it's been something that's been reverberating back towards me. And then Aaron called me up one day and said, yo, I think we should really, you know, put this thing together. I'm getting things in line. Would you want to be a part of it? And the more and more of what I've seen in the local hip hop scene and what came before it, I think the book and the documentation would be important more, because a lot of people really think this thing started with what they see now with Benny and with Conway and with West Side Gun. But even with them, they've been hustling it and breaking it down and been in the streets and grinding for the last 10, 15 years themselves.
That's true.
And it's a story that came before them. And then when me and Aaron started talking about it, I started going back and started these timelines and looking at it and like, wow, and how this connects here and how this connects here, how you could connect like 1982 and 1983, Montana crew goes all the way up to Benny. And I was talking to a friend of mine just the other day. He said, yeah, I remember basically the same time we were joking, like when Benny was born around the same time, Montana crew was, you know, started. And even when he started rapping, how he used to sneak out his mom's house to go and around the corner around like Dope in that area to even, you know, record. So all this is this timeline you can take from Montana. You could take Shay from Cold City Crew, from, you know, Brian and Alan Cole. You could take Brian all the way back to Supreme Team Breakers when he was Sir Dolphin. And all these things line up, even from upstate. And I was telling Aaron one day, you know, I watched Showtime grow up, you know, one of the first MCs I've heard. And from him, I went to go visit him one day, and he had this young man who was rapping. And I was like, what do they call yourself? He said, I call myself MC Blackula. I'm like, well, that's a horrible name. But this guy now he changed his name to Mental Torture and was like one of the founding members of Upstate with which comes off from Slice Malek, and Malek from Shay, and Shay and Malek to Conway and all this stuff. So it's this timeline, not only with just the hip hop and how it started from the DJs to the MCs, and then you have the other threads off of from the break dancing, a couple graffiti and artists and all those. Because I was a part of all that. I was in a DJ crew. I was in a break dancing crew. I used to
I was too.
it was all the elements. So, and looking at it after Aaron initially talked to me, I really sat back in awe of it. And then when I posted the video, just the flood for the first 3 weeks, I tried to start, then like he called like, man, hold on. Then people just called their stories and I was trying to lock them down to start the interview process. I said, I got to get this thing in order just to tell the story right and corroborate legendary stories and rumors and things like that. And I think it's good for the town.
Absolutely.
And let her know that we have a history with this music. So that's what really inspired me. And I can really, at this time, make a substantial contribution to the hip hop scene. So that's why I'm really looking forward to like really getting this thing started and getting the work done.
Now, what's the name of the book?
We don't have a name yet.
Okay.
We don't have a name yet. My thing now is locking down people. I'm literally like hunting down people, and like I'm trying to find who's who, collecting numbers, and they got families and they're doing things. So interviews haven't been going smoothly as I like, but
it takes time. I know, believe me, I know what that's like.
Yeah. So it's like it's going through the process. My thing right now, the title, we don't have anything yet, but the process of like finding all these older people, like now the other side of it from like 96 on up, oh, they're ready to go. If we they're calling me, yo, what's up? I said, I gotta get these guys in line first.
Right.
Because the time I have to start from the
chronology.
Chronology. I have to get these guys locked in and tell this story first, because the thing about it is the hip hop story in Buffalo, from what I understand, when I was like 12 years old, it wasn't a lot of MCs. It was DJ crews. And then right. The MCs came on later on. There's only like 3 or 4 MCs I remember, like from 81, 82. That was Showtime, Maniac D, D-Dot, H&R Rock. And other than that, there wasn't many that came on. But then later you have the, T Little and Gordy, Divine Debonair,
right.
all these people that, that came in and they got these stories. Then you had DJs, you had what we called party crews. Well, these were people that threw the parties, like Blaisdell High, Weekend Girls.
Weekend Girls. Oh yeah, I remember them.
Weekend Girls, St. Louis Babes, Paradise Players. They would just throw parties and everything. Then like Crow was famous for throwing parties for the Ken Bennett,
yep.
things like that. So that's basically what you had. You had like these DJ crews and these people that was known to throw parties, the Hot Ice Ski Club and, all those people back then who I would say they helped, they were instrumental in this thing growing. I remember Juneteenth, spending at the Juneteenth. It's us on one side, me, my man Warlock, and we was Dream Team on one side. Across the street, it was Cold City Crew. We was at Leon's Lounge where the barbecue was. They was at Lee's Car Wash across the street.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this because I came into the whole thing as just a young kid that got into breakdancing. I was in a little small crew myself. Yeah. And we didn't live far from where the Montana crew was. We lived over on Northumberland, right across the way.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember there was a event, and I remember seeing this as a kid in the newspaper. There was some big breakdance event somewhere. I think it might have been in Martin Luther King Park. There was a big picture of all the crews with I think some of the names of, you said Supreme Crew,
Supreme Team.
Supreme Team.
Supreme.
I was trying to remember the names of everybody.
I was in that battle.
Okay, that was a battle. Okay.
It was at my MLK Park. It was in the basketball court.
Right.
It was packed. It was Supreme Team, Suicide Breakers. We were called Magnificent Force. There was a bunch of other crews, but Supreme Team was my man June, Pook, Kid Cody called himself Sir Dolphin back then. Yeah, I remember that.
I remember Sir Tick a lot back in the day.
Oh yeah. Sir, you had Sir Tick a lot.
Yep.
You had all these guys back then. I'm trying to hunt down Tick a lot. I went to school with him. My man Spence. Trying to hunt him down.
He used to come on our street back in the day all the time, because some of the crews used to come on our street. I guess they used to visit different streets, and they used to put on these little exhibitions, and sometimes they would battle different people from the different streets.
You go looking for cats. That's how it was back in the day. That's the thing. I think that was the thing that was the good part about it. If you say you were the best at something, cats was going to look for you.
Oh yeah.
With their little boom box, whatever. Like, come on, man, let's get it in. That's what it was. It was fun. It was competitive, but and it was new to us. And the thing about it is, what I try to tell young kids now is like, you grown up with hip hop. You're somewhat spoiled.
Right.
And you think it's always been here. And it's like, and I tell kids, you take it for granted. They don't understand what it is. I said, listen, when I found out about hip hop, before that, I was listening to like, man, the OJs, Earth, Wind and Fire, Jackson 5.
Me too.
Kiss, Led Zeppelin. I was listening to rock and everything. Then this new thing.
That was 14. That was 14 Rock back in the day too.
Yeah, 14 Rock, Rock 102, 97 Rock. And when hip hop came, it was something totally different. It became like a music for the outcasts, because there were kids my age at 12 and 13 who looked at it as a novel thing, like that's nice, but that's not going to last. There was kids my age who didn't think this thing was real. They thought it was corny. So those who gravitated to it, they were like, book nerds and the neighborhood bullies and everything who could just dance good. And it just became a community like in my neighborhood. I live between the viaducts, Wasmuth to like Montana.
Right around me, man.
yeah, East Ferry to Walden, and that was the area.
I was Northumberland, right off of East Ferry, between East Ferry and Scajaquada.
Yep, because we used to go down to Dr. Bird to get records. He would have a couple hip hop records, or we get the rockers there. So, man, I remember that battle. I just remember all of it. And the thing about it is, like, and I give credit to Aaron because he's like every time we get somewhere, like, you should really do this. You should really think about it. But then after the discussion, and I really looked back, and then when I put the video out, and like people that I'm intimate with in the hip hop, like the crews I was with, because we had a crew called Dream Team. Is my man Warlock, my man Ricky T, my man Pine, my man Tilly. And he started calling and just talking about these stories and other people and things that I've forgotten. I'm like, wow, like this is a real big thing, a real big story that I think needs to be heard.
I want to bring Aaron in. So
Doug, basically what I can say is that Tim inspired me to be part of this, and I could listen to him break it down just as he's been doing on this program. I could listen to it all day, because I think all of us recognize the world historical import of this knowledge, and the fact that Tim lived it, and he has the interpretive analysis to bring it to life, to make all these connections, to put that chronology, right out there, and also to like add the first person voice Tim was there. A lot of people were there that are still with us. I think for me, one thing this summer when Shay passed, it also hit me that this, not only is it now regional history, but because there have been these breakout moments with the Griselda folks, it's a global culture that has its roots in our neighborhoods, and no better person to write that history than someone who lived it. So I'm a bookseller. I have a bookstore downtown, and in that capacity, I have a strong interest in urban history and cultural history and hip hop history, and I'm seeing big gaps. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of material that has not been properly treated, processed, interpreted, especially given how dominant hip hop culture is, Black culture is across the world. And I believe that each culture also has a regional history to it, and we're rich with that here. And Tim is the right person to take this on, along with everyone that's been through it over the last 40. We're coming up on 50 years of this, so
Yeah, 50.
there's a lot to process.
Yeah, this is crazy.
So Tim, talk to us about as you've gone on with this project, who are some of the people that you've spoken to, and what are some of the materials? Or I know you posted a few pictures. I saw a few pictures of the Queen City Breakers.
I found a couple of things on the internet, but most pictures I have is like old flyers. What I have is basically what I found so far. But like I said, in this process, I'm waiting for people to like start delivering stuff. They said they got this, they got this. Yeah. So now within the next 2 weeks, I should be receiving like old flyers, old photos of people who used to go to the concerts and go to the house parties and things of that nature. And I got a lot of old flyers, a lot of old pictures from house parties and gigs that we did, as well as some other people. But the people I've talked to so far, I've talked to my man. I talked to Warlock. I was supposed to get on the call. I think I was supposed to get on the call tonight with Pete from Montana Crew and Divine Debonair. Who else? I've got. I'm trying to reach out. Mark Fuller, hopefully this week.
Oh yeah, he'd definitely be a good one to talk to.
My man Pine, my man Slick Mike, for him from back in the days. The Boys, Fox, Fat Daddy from the Boys and legendary dance group here in Buffalo. Fox, he's doing line dances now and dealing with them right now. As far as my man Big Tone, because Big Tone, he's still out there. He's been around for years. I'm trying to get a line on a couple of people. I got like a lot of people lined up, but the people that certain core people I'm still looking for.
Right.
I'm still trying to reach out to, and I'm still trying to find Showtime. Still trying to find Pee Wee, DJ Pee Wee, because he was part of Sound of the City Crew. Oh, also talking to I broke down some stuff with DJ Wolf, and Wolf's been around for years. Because people don't understand, like Wolf was up under a cat years ago called Wolf D, because Wolf D used to do arena. And Wolf D used
to go to arena a few times back
right.
in the 80s, yeah.
Right. Wolf D was a part of a group called Sound of the City Crew. It was Pee Wee, it was Wolf D, and it was JR. JR who produced Brotherhood Nation. And so Wolf, well, my man Cam, who's Little Wolf, he used to hang out with Wolf D, and he started calling Little Wolf. But then when Wolf D moved to Atlanta, Cam just took the name and ran with it. So I talked to Wolf, and a couple old party goers that used to throw parties and things of that nature that I've gotten in contact with. I've gotten in contact with a lot of other people, like the brother put me in contact with Cutler, and I talked to my man Zedek from upstate, trying to get in contact with Malek, and even some old friends of upstate, like Indeed, family from Dirty Nate, and just really getting a lot of these things open. My man Pine, he did a lot of parties and he was out in the lot. And I got all these people lined up, and a couple interviews that I've done so far have been pretty promising. But the meaty ones that I need to get the ball rolling is definitely with what you have with hold on, babe. Just plug it up. With Montana Crew. And matter of fact, I'm supposed to get on the call Warlock after this.
Okay.
And we're gonna start breaking some things down because he's been there from like 82 to like now. You know what I mean? So that's what I've been dealing with so far. Because I really, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It can be, I can tell you from doing documentaries back in the day on Buffalo, from Build and on down the line, it can be a process with trying, getting people to get, it's not always something that happens overnight. And it's something that you really have to stay at and stay on top, because I'm gonna tell you, when you finally connect with them people, man, and then when you get it documented, and it's just one more step along the way, man. So but this is definitely a story that's like screaming to be told.
One thing is kind of hard because of COVID. It's like a lot of people, I can't go and sit down. Like I can't take them out to like the coffee spot or take them to the bar, have a couple drinks with them, and sit back and really, do it over the phone and like over Zoom. It's cool, but I like that intimate setting that we can sit and vibe and do that. So with a couple of them, that's what I, hopefully I can get up, meet them at their house, go see them and everything, and really break things down, because it's like it's like in sections, and it's like these players that were there that play so much significance. So like I said, you got the DJ movements that was in the early 80s. Then you had like the birth of the emceeing was like in the, I would say like the mid 80s to like the 90s. Then you have the crews that came, because Upstate plays a big vital part of the story. Montana Crew plays a big vital part of the story. Mark Fuller with the IPE plays a big part of the story. Langston Hughes plays a big part of the story. Trueness, was with New Skateland, big part of the story. And all these things that I had to really sit back, and I was like, wow, this is going to take some time to really dissect it, because everybody can remember going to all night skate. And with the battle, with the skate battles there, the dance battles, they used to have like around 2 a.m. and everything. Then you got like the Monte Carlo in the falls, the Turtle in the falls. All these places, they have the
blast from the past, the Turtle.
the Turtle. Yeah. So you got all these places. Then you got like the hole in the wall places, the 233, the Steam Pit, Glass House, the families, the family gatherings, at the Mount St. Joe's.
Oh, of course, the Mount.
The Mount.
Who could forget the Mount?
So you got all these places, not to mention just the house parties. You got parties at the JFK downtown. Soul Castle used to be downtown. Throw jams at the convention center. The DJ battles. Then you got, Doris Record, Apollo Records. All these places that played this pivotal part, where people, when you bring these things up, they got these stories. Now I was telling Aaron about a story years ago. Dirty Nate told me, and it was at the Glass House. And this when Dirty Nate first started rapping, and Dirty Nate first started rapping, and he went in there and he challenged Showtime. He said, "Show, if you beat me, I'll walk out of this place on my hands and knees."
Wow.
And he said, "Yo, Biz, man," he whooped me, and I walked out in that joint on my hands and knees. I'm like, talk about that's what it was about. I mean,
yep, absolutely.
I'm of the opinion that Tim's already got this book written in his head.
Me too. I'm just sitting here. He's just blowing me to the back of my chair right now with some of these stories right now.
I know you want to. I know you want to honor everyone in in the movement, Tim, and I know that's what we need to do. But I also know that you are breaking it down. I mean, you got this knowledge
You got it,
because
man.
you were there. You
The
know.
thing about, yeah, and the thing about I really want to hit home with people was that the music kept us out of trouble. It was trouble with it. You're gonna have your fights, you can have your fist fights, but only thing that stopped me from really getting a packet, hitting a block, was the music. I wanted to be a rapper. I like the DJs. So that was the dividing thing, these parties, these, because we had these crews, we didn't make any money.
I was gonna interject something with that.
Yeah.
Because when you send me, back when I was breakdancing, we averted a lot of fights in my area.
Yeah.
Just from breakdance. We always used to say, instead of fighting, let's take it out and break it. That's how we used to say it.
That's it. Let's dance it out.
Like boom, boom. After that, we was cool. We forgot what happened.
Exactly. So you see the MCs here today, even with the success of Conway and Benny and them, the music is still, because that's how it is, hyper violent. And just letting people know how this thing started, this music that y'all love today and y'all trying to get into, when we had it, when it was our time and we had it, we used it as this vehicle to have fun.
Yep.
That was the main thing. It wasn't about getting out, wilding out, and to have like fun. And that's what it was. And that's why I remember all this stuff, because a lot of places I was just a fly on the wall. I was happy just to carry speakers and records. And like today, you don't really have that. I mean, we would go to it was a spot next to Tent City called NWS. And it was a little stereo spot right next to Tent City. And everybody would go in there to get they speakers and they tweeters. And I mean the speakers, because we would build our cabinets. We ain't had no money. So we would have like the speakers at home. We break them down, see how they work. Then we would go get woofers. We would go get tweeters. And we would go find wood, not buy it, find wood, and get black spray paint and spray them, put the little corner pieces on it, wet the wood down and sit it outside so it could warp, so we could build the scoops. And these big heavy speakers we used to make and then take them to house parties or take them to the block parties or go to the park when it was Humboldt Park and go and like what they did in New York, take the lids or take that piece off the lamps and connect it and hook the speakers up and just play. That's what it was. And that's the
created
thing.
Our own industry.
Yeah, our own industry. And that's the thing that I think would benefit this next generation doing it. Like, this is how we did it. And we just had fun with, like I said, we didn't make no money. Of the money we made at a house party, we went and bought records with or buy some new tweeters that we blown that night. That's what we did. For real. It was just upkeep and fun and just to have a name. Because the thing about it, you want to have your crew, you wanted to just have a name out there. Because being a DJ, it had a street recognition. It was one of the ultimate ghetto passes. You wasn't a bully, you wasn't in no gang, you wasn't a drug dealer, but they knew me. How you knew me from? Oh, I know you from Dream Team. How you Warlock in it? Oh yeah, he cool. Come on in. You wanted that credibility. You wanted that what you call hood fame, and that came from being a good MC, a good DJ, a good breaker. At that time, that's what it was. It was 100% love because it was no money.
That's right.
What made Montana Crew famous in my hood was like, we're talking about like 82, 83, 84. These guys were charging $100 for a house party. Now, $100 don't seem much now.
Right.
But in 1982, in 1983, $100 for one night, a house party, oh yeah, that was money. Yeah. And if you charge $2, you better have some food in there.
Better.
That's what it was. How you look at the flyer and you see $2, it better be and food. You know what I mean? Because that was it. It's like, y'all ain't paying $2 to get no house party. I don't care who's spinning. That's just what it was. So you get some food. You probably get a tray of like 30, 40 wings and some pasta salad and just put that out. When that go, that go. We have food. We didn't lie on the fly. We have food. So you get people there early. But these guys were charging $100. And people would scrape up money for them cats to come and do their house party. And that was the fame of them. And plus they came from a notorious drug block. So everybody knew Montana for drugs. And then you got this DJ crew who called themselves Montana. Yeah, the street cred they had coming out the gate, kids today would actually die for. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. They were like, you know, they were it. And then you had other guys, you know, Third Tough City crew and Rouster crew. And then when Cold City came on, it was like, man, Brian and Allen, man, them boys, it was, man, he come to a battle, he's shutting it down. He's shutting it down.
Okay, guys, we got about maybe 5 minutes left of this.
Okay. Yeah, I'm running my mouth, man. I apologize.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, no, bro, don't apologize. I enjoyed hearing this, man. This is a serious walk down memory lane.
Matter of fact, your man Reek, not because your man Reek sent me some stuff. He sent me a flyer the other day. I got to get to you.
Okay.
And Reek reached out to me. I remember he used to do the work for the Challenger.
Right.
DJ Reek, and he reached out. He's definitely gonna. I'm definitely approach him to help me out because Reek got a lot of good stuff too.
Tim, if there are listeners with or watchers with material, do you want them to hit you up like on Facebook Messenger, or where's a good way for us to get materials to you that people may have out in the community?
You can hit me up on Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Instagram. My name is Biz Clyburn, BIZCLYBURN. Heck, you can call me. You know, number 716-986-7351. You know, like my man say, I ain't hard to find like a stop sign. Just get at me with it, because it's not my story, it's our story.
Absolutely.
And one thing, and I'll say this one thing. One thing about dealing with DJs, they're like wide receivers. They have big egos. And the ones I've talked to, I let them know, okay, this is not your story. Okay, this is not the DJ blank, blank, blank story. This is not, we're not doing autobiographies, you know.
Right.
I need you to tell me how you felt about it, how you felt about the music when you first heard it, when you got on the turntables, you know, how'd you build your relationship, build your respect up, build your name up, you know, because that's what it is. You know, it's a lot, but it's a beautiful thing, man, when I really started looking back at it, because it takes something like this for me to actually sit back and reflect really deeply on how it came to be, and not to mention just with the passing of Shay, with the passing of Ecstasy last week from Houdini, and even the scare with Dre, and a lot of cats, my man, Pretty Tony, who passed last year, DJ Tone almost passed last year. I mean, my man DJ Touche, who passed years ago. You know, this story needs to get out even more to me right now. You know
okay, gentlemen. Well, thanks so much for being on the Buffalo History Channel. Let me know of the progress of this book, and I'll have you guys come back on and give us updates, because so we can hear some more stories. If you have anything, any pictures or flyers, anything you can send me that I can add to this video when we post it up on YouTube. I'm gonna try to get it up. If not, probably not tonight, but definitely tomorrow. Get this up as soon as possible and get this story out here.
Oh, for sure.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
all right, fellas. Thanks for being on the Buffalo History
Good night,
Channel.
everybody.
All right, man. Good night.
All right, brother.